The Internet has launched a global communication revolution. So, it stands to reason that some new standards would develop for communicating in this new arena. This is where Netiquette, short for Internet Etiquette, comes in. There are many different kinds of netiquette for the web, but they all combine into some standard sets of guidelines. There are abbreviations, or in other words, net slang. There are emoticons and smileys for expressing subtleties straight text can't convey. And there's spelling and grammar. And then there's the golden rule. Net slang, mostly in the form of abbreviations, is just a creative way to use the keyboard. These shortcuts came about as a way to streamline and speed up instant message chats. A lot of people use them now, and you'll see them on message boards and in internet diaries known as weblogs or blogs as well. Some are very mainstream, like LOL for laugh out loud, BRB for be right back, TTYL for talk to you later, G2G for good to go, IIRC for if I recall correctly, THX for thanks, and BTW for by the way. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that when you put something in all caps, it means you're shouting or you're trying to make a strong point. Putting a whole sentence in all caps is like screaming. So don't do it unless you would scream in a normal conversation too. One form of communication that's unique to the internet is the emoticon or smiley. These are simple combinations of text characters that represent a face. They help you convey some of the emotion and expression that would otherwise be lost in a text-only conversation. Some examples you might use are the smiley face, sad face, sticking out tongue to show irreverence or goofing around, sideways mouth for indifference or sarcasm. Can you imagine conveying sarcasm in simple text alone? The sunglasses face for showing how cool you are, and the, pirate face. There are a couple of other things to keep in mind when participating on discussion boards, forums, or news groups. You want to make your point quickly, clearly identify a subject line, and stick to the topic. Unless you're just goofing around on a board with friends, in which case getting off topic is half the fun. These guidelines also apply to blogs or internet diaries, which are another area where people are posting their thoughts on the web. First off, don't post anything that you don't want found. You know the internet can be a great resource for finding anything you want, and other people can find anything they want too, including what you've written. If you post to a blog or message board that doesn't require a password to read, then always be aware that anyone could stumble in and read what you wrote. That might be a teacher you insulted or a person you have a crush on. Either way, bad news. Another thing that's bad news, spam. Don't post unrelated comments or advertisements to every news group or organization you know. This is called spamming. It's like sending out spam emails and is the social equivalent of walking into somebody's party, handing everyone an advertisement, and then just leaving. Not exactly something anyone at the party will appreciate. Another thing you want to be careful about is creating a flame war. A flame war is basically just people hurling insults at each other over the net and can derail a message board thread or a chat room pretty quickly. If you offend someone through a comment, for whatever reason, and then they respond angrily, your best bet isn't to attack back. You can respond calmly and try to regain the conversation, but just hurling worthless insults isn't fun for anyone, especially the other people whose thread you just ruined. And that really comes down to the golden rule. It applies online just as much as anywhere else. Treat others how you'd want to be treated. And that's about it for basic netiquette. Have fun exploring the web and connecting and collaborating with people all over the world. All the tools you need are out there.